I'm super excited about this video because today I'm installing a Seadek. Hi campers, coming back at you again with another video. Now hang on a second before you start fast forwarding through this video. I am going to show you a timeline in just a second that's going to give you the starting point for each section of this video. However, there's so much information that I tried to cram into this video that you may want to watch the entire video because there may be answers to questions that you have in other sections of the video. In this video, I'm going to be covering everything. The ordering process, how the dry fit kit works, unboxing, installation, and a review or kind of my final thoughts of the Seadek kit. And really quick, let me be very clear. I am not being paid by Seadek to make this video. I am not sponsored or affiliated with Seadek in any way. I did not receive anything free or receive a discount for making this video. I am not a licensed Seadek installer or dealer. I am simply just sharing my own personal experience, how I was able to do everything, and how it all turned out for me. So please do your own research and do what you feel comfortable with for your situation. And for those of you who still want to fast forward, get ready to pause in 3, 2. With that said, let's get into it. The first thing we're going to want to do is find out if Seadek makes a pre-made kit for your boat. So we're going to go to the Seadek.com website. Once on the website, we're going to navigate to shop. Under made to order here, we're going to click on find your boat. And as you can see to the left here, there's a lot of different kits offered for several different manufacturers. I've got a Caravel, so we're looking for Caravel. Looks like they've only got one kit. There may be more kits for your boat manufacturer. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And to view the drawing, I'm going to click on it here to enlarge it. And right away, I can tell this looks like a swim platform kit. It may be for a Caravel. It is definitely not for my model because this is not what the back end of my boat looks like right here. So it doesn't look like they've got a kit for my boat. But don't stop here. What we can do next is navigate to the Get in Touch. Then we're going to come down here to Consumer. And then we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page here, and we've got some contact numbers for Seadek. At this point, I called Seadek hoping that they might have kits that aren't online. When I called, I spoke to a sales agent and found out that their full library of kits is not online. And I also found out that they did have a cockpit kit and a swim deck kit for a 2004 Caravel 207. Now, I have a 2006 Caravel 207, but based on my research, the floor plan for the 2004 207 is the same as the floor plan for the 2006 207. With that being said, I asked if I could get a quote for both kits. The sales agent told me that she would send me the drawings of both kits and a quote via email for me to review. After receiving the email from Seadek, I reviewed the drawings, and from what I could tell, they look correct for my boat. At this point, I could have ordered both kits. However, Seadek does encourage customers to order a dry fit kit, which is a full-size kit printed on clear plastic. The dry fit kit will allow you to make sure that each piece is going to line up the way you want it. And if changes need to be made, they can be marked on the dry fit kit and sent back to Seadek. Now, I paid $37.61 total, including shipping, for both the cockpit and swim deck dry fit kits. In the end, I thought it was a small price to pay to make sure that everything fits correctly when you are going to be spending a lot of money on the Seadek kit itself. And the Seadek kits are non-refundable. So you want to make sure that it's right. All right, so our Seadek template came in. We got some instructions from Seadek. Okay, let's take this up and see how it fits on the boat. Before we get started, we want to make sure that we have a good pair of scissors and a permanent marker. First, we are going to roll out the template. Next, you will need to cut out the individual pieces from the roll. Seadek recommends that you leave as much of the clear film around each piece that you can in case you need to make size or shape adjustments to the piece. Once all the pieces are cut out, you will need to line them up exactly how they will be installed. Seadek recommends that if there is a molded-in pattern on your boat, the pieces should be aligned to the pattern or extend a 1/4 inch past to a smooth surface. At this point, you will also need to verify that the pattern you want is going in the correct direction. And as you can see here, the design on the swim deck does not match the design that's on the interior cockpit, so I will have to make note of that on the order form. I was pretty lucky, and the majority of the pieces of my dry fit kit fit perfectly, except for 2 pieces on the swim deck. Here I am making the needed changes on the film with a permanent marker. Alright, so we've got our 2 panels that we're going to be sending back to Seadek here with the corrections on them. We're also going to be sending back our correction form here, and then I also attached the drawings with very detailed information for them as well. So we're going to get that all packaged up and shipped back to them now. Now, Seadek did not provide this white box, I just happen to have one, so you'll either need to get a box or you'll want to reuse the box that the kit was originally sent in. Alright, let's get this to the post office. Once Seadek receives a package with the corrections to the dry fit kit, they send you an email letting you know that they have received it and when you can expect the new updated dry fit kit sent back to you for final approval. In my case, I was not charged for the second dry fit kit, and the new kit was shipped about 7 days after Seadek had received the corrections. Obviously, this may vary per order. Now that I have received the updated dry fit kit, I need to make sure everything's fitting exactly how I want it to. Lining it up with the floor lines, the screw holes, and making sure the design is going in the direction that I want it to. If at this point you are still having issues with fitment of the dry fit kit, you will need to reach out to Seadek and let them know. This may seem like a long and time-consuming process, but remember, the Seadek kit is going to be very expensive and non-refundable, so the time I am taking now to make sure that everything is going to fit perfect will help make sure that the final product comes out exactly as I envisioned it. In my case, the second dry fit kit is fitting perfect, so I will send an email back to Seadek along with a completed drawing approval checklist form confirming that the drawings are correct and I am ready to order the Seadek kit. Once approval is received, Seadek will reply letting you know that they have received your approval and they will give you an estimated date as to when your Seadek kit will ship. In my case, they told me it would take a 2-week processing time to fill and ship my order. And once shipped, I could expect to receive a tracking number via email. Obviously, this may vary per order. Alright guys, well it's finally here. Super excited. I am a little surprised by the size of the box. It's much smaller than what I thought it was going to be. It says not to use a blade, so we're not going to. Alright, let's get this thing open. Alright. So it looks like, I don't know if you can see right here, but it looks like Seadek has labeled the parts for you. Put a little sticker on there, which is cool. Alright, it's just all rolled up into one. It does look like it's all here, so that's good. We'll know here in a minute when we go to install it. Let's look around here so you can see it. Okay, so that's how it came in the box. I'm going to get this open, see if there's any instructions, and then we'll get to installing. Be sure to remove the snaps if you had a snap-in carpet kit before you install the Seadek. Alright guys, let's get into what we're going to need to install the Seadek. Let's start with what Seadek recommends. They recommend acetone first to wipe down the floor so that you remove any dirt, grime, or grease. Once you've used the acetone, they suggest going with an isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol. In this case, I'm going to use denatured alcohol. It's basically the same thing to just give that floor a final cleaning. We've got some clean rags, we've got some tape here and a knife, and then we've also got the diagram from Seadek with all of our pieces labeled and numbered so we know where to put them. Now off to the right here, I've got a roller and a rolling pin. Seadek doesn't mention anything about using these tools, but I think these are going to be good tools to use to help get us a good adhesion, and I'll show you that once we get into the installation. One thing else also to note, Seadek recommends that you do the installation in temperatures between 50 and 100 degrees. We're in Colorado right now, it's upper 80s, no humidity, it's very dry, so we should be able to get a really good installation out of those conditions. Alright, let's jump into it. All right, I'm going to start with the very front bow piece here, and I've got it turned upside down. What Seadek recommends is that you take your knife and you just kind of score this backing paper down the middle. You don't want to cut through to the foam. The idea is just to score the backing paper so that you'll be able to peel half of it off to install half at a time, if you will. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try to give it a score. I'd almost rather peel it and then cut it with scissors, but we'll do it their way, this first piece. And there we go, you can see it's scored far enough, so we'll get to installing this. We're taped up about halfway. Now we're going to start with that upper half and we're going to lay that first. All right guys, hopefully you can see this and my big head doesn't get in the way here. But we've got our area cleaned. We'll go ahead and install this guy. Okay, so we're going to pull it back to where we made our crease here. There you can see it. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling it, the backing paper off. I'm going to pull it up to the top where I can pinch it. And then next I'm going to take this roller and I'm just going to start in the middle and work my way outwards as well as toward the front. Okay, now we're to where the backing paper is, so I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of this off. And then again, we're going middle out. And I'll just go ahead and work it down. You might also want to just kind of work it out like this, all the way down, and then come back with the roller, and this is just a rubber roller, and then just continue to make sure that it's nice and adhered, and then we'll even come back and put all of our weight on it, especially around the edges. Always got our rag handy here. I'll probably give it a little wipe one last time. Just make sure no debris had blown in there while we've been working on it here. Going to remove the backing paper here and we're going to pinch it just like we did the first side. And this time I'm just going to use my hand. Start in the middle, push out. We'll do it that way. That way is the way the manufacturer recommends. Okay. Again, keeping it hinged up, and we're forcing it middle out, middle to the sides. All right, got it down. If we want to add a little pressure, we can use a roller. Put all our weight on it here. Really check those edges. But there you go. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next piece. One thing to note, guys, when you're looking at these pieces on the bottom, they've all got a little indicator sticker like this. And look at that SPN number. The N number is 16. And I'm pretty sure that's how you match up with your design where it goes. See, there's part 16. Hopefully you can see this, guys, but it does look like this stuff can stretch a little bit. I had this lined up perfect, and as I was putting it down, it looked like it did shift just a little bit. It's not too noticeable, but just keep in mind when you are laying it that it can stretch a little bit, it looks like. Okay, on these two bigger pieces here, I definitely think you're better off laying them out first together before laying one side down, just so you can kind of figure out where you want to put it, so that these seams hopefully line up. In my case, I think it's going to not line up exactly perfect, but at least this way I'll be able to tweak each of them a little bit so that it will look pretty good. This one's going to be extremely awkward to lay. As you can see, it's got many different curves and stuff, and I'm sure it's going to try to skew off on us too in the middle of all this, but I'm going to go ahead and try to lay the back half, this half over here first, and kind of watch it and see how it's lining up. But one thing I wanted to show you guys real quick, what I'm doing here, this whole line right here, I'm going to make sure has good adhesion. This is going to be what keeps the water from getting under it and dirt, which would cause it to come up. So I'm going to go around this entire perimeter, making sure that it's pushed down everywhere. All right, the driver's side here was equally as challenging, and it actually had a very large back portion here. In all honesty, I did it myself, but having a helper on a piece like that that's kind of wide would definitely be helpful. But as you can see, we've got the interior done. Now we're going to move on to the swim deck. All right, this piece is the first piece we have where we've got some drilled out holes for screws, so make sure to line those up. I think what I'm going to do is tape it down the middle here. All right, let's do this other side. I might have to pull it just a hair this direction. Let's see. The changes we had to make were to these two panels because they weren't lining up right. The holes weren't lining up, the handle wasn't lining up, and the seam wasn't lining up. And as you can see, everything looks like it lines up now perfectly. It's gonna be awesome. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it right down the center. This one should be pretty easy. Don't hate me, guys, but the good pictures of the final look will come in the next video that I've actually already edited and uploaded to YouTube, and it will premiere a week from today. I had to film this video without getting any of the new upholstery in the shot, as the upholstery was completed by the time I installed the Seadek. Once again, I am not affiliated with Seadek in any way, nor did I receive anything from Seadek for free or at a discount. This was purely an organic purchase that I decided to make myself. So here are my honest thoughts after going through the process and after having a couple months of use before I had to winterize the boat. The entire process took 3 months and 4 days from when I ordered the dry fit kit to when the final product was delivered to my doorstep. Obviously, this time frame could have been drastically reduced if I did not need the corrections made to the dry fit kit. Also during this time, the boat was at the upholstery shop getting the new interior, so I had limited access to get there to verify the fitment of the dry fit kit. But regardless, this is probably not a purchase that you will be able to make if you are on a tight timeline. There are other manufacturers out there too with similar products to check out as well, such as Gator Step. I actually reached out to Gator Step, but they did not have the template for my boat. However, both Seadek and Gator Step have another process you can go through if they do not have a template for your boat. But ultimately, I chose Seadek because they already had the template. If I were to do this whole thing over again, I think I would reach out to a local Seadek dealer first. After purchasing my Seadek, I stumbled across a boat forum that led me to believe that I might have been able to get a better price through a dealer. But I'm not 100% sure on that, so I would check with both the dealer and with Seadek directly to see which one would give you the better price. According to Seadek, in the harshest conditions, Seadek can be expected to last 5 to 7 years. However, depending on how well you take care of it and limit exposure to harsh elements, the longer it will last. My personal hunch is that the removal of adhesive residue could be a nightmare, so the better care you take of it, the longer you will have before having to deal with that issue. The look of the Seadek came out exactly like I envisioned it. The installation was a little time consuming, but fairly easy in my opinion. The pieces fit great, and I am very happy with how it looks. So far, it seems to clean up fairly easy with soapy water. After 2 months on the water, it has held up with no damage from wakeboards or towables. If you follow us on YouTube and Instagram, you know that we have a Chihuahua, and he has run all over the boat, and I have not seen any damage caused by his claws. But he does only weigh in at a whopping 9 pounds. There is a lot to think about when deciding if a product like Seadek is the right option for you. Once again, I'm just sharing my personal experience and opinion. Please do your own research and do what you feel is best for your situation. As always, guys, be sure to check out the links in the description for all info, tools used in this video, and check out the link to our Etsy store where we sell a variety of decals and final graphics. Please like this video if you found it helpful, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace!